Yo, what's up? What's up? Like this video, comment, share, follow our page, the Modern Day Podcast. I'm waiting for the host, Steve King, to get on. Yo, what's up? What's up? I'm waiting on Steve to get on the line. All right, let's see here. We got Miss D. What's up? What's up? What's up, Kamisha? What's happening? Uh, all right, D, just give me 2 seconds. I'm gonna allow Steve to add you as a host. I'm still figuring out this new technology. I appreciate you being on here tonight. This is this emergency broadcast in regard to the post that was on social media. We're going to have a healthy dialogue in regards to today's conversation. All right. So the rules of engagement for tonight, for this evening, is no over talking the host, no writing in all caps, and no cursing at each other. We're not gonna curse at each other. I mean, if you curse while you talk, that's cool, but you get what I'm saying, all right? So no cursing at each other, no over talking to each other, and no writing in all caps. What's up, Deborah? What's up? What's up? What's happening? We're gonna have a great conversation here tonight. This is the Modern Day Podcast. I'm your host, Eugene Alexander, and we're gonna be speaking about should the man be served first in his house, in the family's house, while You have guests while the wife father is there, while there's kids there who should be served first in the house. And we're gonna have a great conversation, man. This is exclusive uh, podcast. I appreciate everyone being here, and we're gonna go ahead and get this thing going. So a little bit about myself. My parents are still married to this day. Currently, I'm not married, but I am in the pursuance right now in regards to a long-term relationship or marriage. My parents been married for over 50 years. They're still married right now. My dad parents stayed married until the day they died. My mom parents stayed married until the day they died. Now, one thing about when I study wealth in regards to like multimillionaires and billionaires, the common denominator is that they're all married or in long-term relationships. Common denominator. All right. Now, Warren Buffett, let's see here. Warren Buffett speaks about the importance of marriage or long-term relationship. Um, and then also, man, what I want for my brother, what I want for myself. One thing that I learned, like within the nation, I'm not within the Nation of Islam, but I know a lot of great men in the Nation of Islam, and they speak about what they never taught the Negro. And one thing they never taught us as men, specifically black men, is about our mate selection, the women who we are marrying or who we having kids with. I mean, that's very important. You know what I mean? All right. And so, just based on my studying in regards to the current dynamics here in the modern dating scene, uh, in regards to men, this is a men broadcast, a men podcast. A lot of us was raised in single parent households, dysfunctional families, or the dad worked extreme hours and didn't have the time to actually teach us as men in regards to who we decide to marry, who we are deciding to be in a long-term relationship with. All right, so just give me 2 seconds here. And Steve, what's up, man?
What's up, my brother? What's going on with you today, man?
Oh man, everything great, man. Everything great. I'm going ahead and finish up here real quick in regards to
Nice.
the topic. All right. So Warren Buffett, multi-billionaire, what he speaks about is that no, it wasn't. This is a quote he has stated. He said, no, it wasn't about some innovative investment choice. Buffett boiled it down to picking the right life partner. Yes, whom you choose to marry makes the biggest difference in your life. Buffett told his mentee, Bill Gates, that. So success leaves clues. And Bill Gates is one of the wealthiest men as well. So when they're dialoguing, they're talking, they're speaking about wife, procreation, long-term relationships. All right, Steve. So this is the Modern Dating Podcast. I'm your host, Eugene Alexander. This is
And this is your host, Steve King. What's going on, y'all?
oh man, that's what's up, man. That's what's up. So hey, tell me a little bit about yourself, man.
Absolutely. Currently, I'm a real-time operations management specialist for a Fortune 500 company and also DJ, rapper, now podcaster with my partner Eugene. Just having fun and trying to help out uh, all the males out there that may have questions and things of that sort. Definitely looking into getting into life counseling, life coaching, and stuff like that. Seems like an angle. You know what I'm saying? So that's me. What about yourself, sir?
I do a little bit of real estate investing,
Right
life
on.
coaching, and image consulting. I actually had a woman reach out to me today. Actually, she wants to be featured on the podcast Friday. I helped her reach one of her weight loss goals. So,
Oh,
and so she's excited about that. And, just let people see, uh, the transparency in regards to, what we, um, let them see the transparency in regards to the image consult. A lot of people are very like concerned about their image physically. And I got a woman client that wants to hop on the live stream and speak about what we got going on. All right, Steve, man. So I'm gonna go ahead and post in the comments of the thread, and we're gonna have a dialogue in regards
Okay.
to that, man. So, what do you think in regards to being served first in the house, man?
Oh man, as far as like being served your plate of food, is that what you're getting at?
Yeah, yeah, most definitely.
Okay, okay. Um, I feel that if it's just her and I, then I wouldn't see an issue with just being served first. But outside of that, I would not see an issue with somebody else being served first before me. Let it be
Mhm.
if we had children or if there is an elder there, I wouldn't see an issue with that. What about yourself?
My preference is as the king and the head of the house.
Right.
I am going to be served first. All right, so that's my preference in regards to that. And yeah, I mean that's just the bottom line. So I'm working on just tagging you here, and so it can pop up on your timeline there. But yeah,
Right.
man, I'm very big about being the head of the house, the man of the house, and
Mhm.
with that being such, I'm going to be served first. But like everybody has a personal preference in regards to that situation. Um, so hey, Steve, it's not letting me post here on my laptop the thread, so I'm gonna just read it in regards to the topic. All right.
Okay, that's fine.
All right. So this is the thought here. All right. I want to know, was this man right? And good evening, Gigi. Good evening, Deborah. Good evening, Kamisha. All right. So my homeboy called me. He never calls me. He asked me if he was wrong. Here's what happened in this thread, okay?
Okay.
All right. My homeboy said his wife family came over to his crib yesterday for Christmas. His wife cooked. He said when the food was done, his wife made her father the first plate. He had a problem with that.
Okay.
He voiced to me that it's his house. He pays all of the bills and he should get the first plate. And not only that, he had to eat with the spoon because she gave the forks to all of the guests. He told me he talked to his wife. She said, that's my father, and I can't promise you'll always get the first plate. And it's not a big deal. He told me he left the house because of the blatant disrespect. I told him he isn't wrong to stand his ground. Y'all agree or disagree. So what you think about that, Steve?
Um, Again, I'm just gonna go back to what I said before. Like, her father is an elder,
Mm,
so if it wasn't for this man, I never would have met that woman. So I'm gonna show him a sign of respect, and if she want to make him a plate first, that it's not gonna bother me too much. It
okay.
just isn't. So in turn, I would expect him not to feel some type of way if I'm in his house and she served me first.
Okay. Okay. I got you. All right. And then, one of her response was, that's my father, and I can't promise you'll always get the first plate. And it's not a big deal. What I mean, do you think he's overreacting? Because one thing that I realized with men, especially with like black men, is like we have a problem with like communication. What happens is like we like to hold in our feelings, and we don't like to articulate how we feel. So here we have a competent, rational male, and he's communicating with his wife to, hey, I did not like that. I do not appreciate you
Right.
serving your father first within the house. And she blows it off as it's not a big deal. I mean, how you feel about that,
Now, in that particular sense, because now it becomes it does become a respect thing. Because if I'm vexing to you that this is something that bothers me and you're supposed to be my wife, I would hope that you would go with it with the utmost importance. Now, if it's something totally irrational and immoral, then I wouldn't really knock that woman for disregarding it. But something like that can be taken serious based off of tradition or culture, because maybe in your household you came up, the head of the household always gets their plate first, and in my household, how I came up was you make your own plate and whoever get their plate, you get it first. You know what I'm saying? Now, yes, my mother did always make my father his plate, but it was up to us as children to get our own plates. Moms didn't really, she didn't really make our plates when we got old enough to make them. So, again, just to go back, uh, the key point behind that is if your husband vexes to the wife that, hey, this bothers me, then it should be up to those two to come up with something, at least a compromise or something. That's the way I feel about it.
Yeah, and that's one thing I learned from my father, man. He's been married for over 50 years, and I was speaking with him about
Good
being in a
dude, man.
long-term
Good dude.
relationship. Appreciate you in the marriage, and said it's about compromise. And I can compromise, man. I love to listen to rap music. I love to listen to trap music, that down south underground music. And I used to date this woman, and she hated the music I listened to. So when she get in the car, I listen to some neo soul. I'll listen to some jazz or whatnot. But as soon as she leave, I'm back to the trap. I'm listening to the real estate, not the real estate,
Back
but I'm
to the
listening to
trap.
my trap music. You know what I mean? Because it just reminds me of like what we do in real estate. Grinding out the
Right.
bank, things like that. You know what I mean? In regards to the guests, we're gonna open up to the guests
Absolutely.
in like 20 minutes, y'all. So I appreciate y'all sending the invites. Just give us 20 minutes, 20 to 30 minutes. We're gonna have a dialogue on it, and then we're gonna allow the guests to come in, and we're gonna allow y'all to speak. Okay.
Absolutely. Sure
All
are.
right. Yeah, so I can compromise. I can compromise. But this is one thing about me, man. If I tell you that I do not like something
Uh-huh.
and I want you to stop, that means
Right.
I want you to stop. That don't mean continue to do something that I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the world is already crazy enough as is. So one thing I should be able to have peace is within my house. So
I give you that. Right.
when somebody blows off in regards to how I'm feeling, that's disrespect. It's non-negotiable. And I know just based on my experience, that's not going to work in regards to the long term. So, Steve, let me ask you this, man.
What's up? What's
Some
up?
people said he then also, man, he walked away. He walked away like after the situation, man. And then he went and talk to his partner. How you feel about that, man? Like after everything's done and whatnot, he later on that evening he went to his friend's house and spoke about the situation. Should he stay there as a man and been upset?
I'm two-sided on that one because yeah, he could have stayed there, but then, when people are bitter about something or they're upset, then things may come out that they actually don't mean or they regret. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? So he may have actually played the smartest part by leaving. Speaking out of experience, there are times where, because I'm not gonna put my hands on no woman. So if I hit
Right.
any point where I'm just upset, because
Mhm.
when you black out or you get over angered, you don't know what may happen. Either things can happen or things could be said. So I personally think he made a right call by leaving. And you know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need somebody to vent to. So whether it's his, another brother or a cousin or whoever it may be, he's venting because what he's doing in actuality is he's trying to see if there's an error in his ways. Maybe he's tripping. That's what he's trying to figure out.
Right.
Maybe I'm tripping, man. You know what?
Mhm.
I'm gonna go ask homie down the street or whoever it may be. You know what I'm saying? So I don't fault him for that. Not at all.
Okay.
I think it's a wise call.
Yeah, I agree with you with that, man. You know, we disagree on a lot of things. We're like yin and yang on a lot. But one thing that I learned in regards to my therapy and as well with mentorship that I received is that you need a support system.
Absolutely.
Everybody has a support system.
Hmm.
Like a lot of people think that I'm very intelligent, and that's far from the truth. I'm a go getter, and I'm not gonna say I'm not intelligent like that because I am, but I got great people around me in my corner that when
Right.
I need something, I can call them, they'll tell me it. Then I can go back to you, Steve, and I can articulate to you
Correct.
about the situation. So
Right.
he went to his support system and was talking to his partner, man. Every more men need a support system because what's going on, man? A lot of men are committing suicide. They feel like there's no help, there's nobody to vent to, and what happens is a lot of people are taking their life. And I talked to a good friend today, and they're on the way to go to the funeral because a young man took his life. So to have that support system is you can't minimize how important that is. All right, I'm gonna have to hit you back. So, man, in my opinion, man, they said it was a temper tantrum because he left. How do you feel about that in the comments on Facebook about him throwing a temper tantrum?
I you know, I don't feel it's a temper tantrum because okay, what if this brother right here, what if he actually would have stayed and he's angry,
Hmm.
he feels disrespected? Because you know, when you feel like somebody's stepping on your toes, you ready to go for the guns. It doesn't matter if it's a male or a female.
Figuratively speaking.
Figured exactly. Yeah, I'm not saying literally shoot somebody. I'm
Yeah,
not saying that literally because we are alive. So yeah,
yeah, yeah.
disclaimer. But um, he could have stayed there and really just exploded it and took it beyond reach to Mars and back. He could have really did that.
Mm.
But he chose to make the wise decision, like, you know what? I'm just gonna walk away. And
Right.
no matter who he really went to talk to at that point in time, of course, some ladies would probably speculate, oh, he just probably went to another woman's house. You know, oh, I'm gonna go vent. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know how long he was gone. He may have gone for 5 minutes. He could have been gone for 5 hours. But the point
Mm.
is, I feel he makes the smartest decision. So when I did read some of those comments, it was a little disturbing because it's like, okay, so you want him to sit here and just be angry and just tussle with you? Like, really, is that what you want? So then now this could be a seed that is planted that is going to eventually bloom into something, and it's not blooming into anything positive. It's going to be something negative. And when that tree actually or that plant it blossoms, it's just going to be nothing but negativity because in a male's mind, you're going to go back like because it's like unresolved and you're just going to go back to it. And
Right.
that's all that's gonna happen. You're just gonna be like, you know what? It could be something as simple as, hey, I asked you to wash the dishes, and these dishes been in here for 3 days. Now the man's gonna fall back on something that's unresolved and all the other stuff. That's exactly what's gonna happen. So I think again, by him leaving, he got some breathing air, some breathing space to where he can find himself again. And sometimes, we need to speak to other people. We
Hmm.
do have to talk. Like if I had an issue, I come to you. Like, fam,
Hmm.
this happened, that happened, man. This chick is tripping. Am I tripping? And you can tell me with all honesty whether I am or not. Or you would give me an alternate right. Hey man, maybe you need to try this. Maybe you need to try that. You know what I'm saying? So again, in the comments, just not to digress, but in the comments, yeah, some of those were they were kind of left field, and I was like, wow, that's real interesting stuff right there.
Yeah, man. You know, I walk away from a lot of situations. You know, I
Right.
don't. It's sometimes, man. I know I need to calm down. I need to get back to being cool, calm, and collective. And that
Right.
doesn't make you a less of a man. That's like being out in the street and a man challenge you to fight in front of your wife or your kids, or it just depends on the setting. Are you a punk if you walk away, or should you fight this man and jeopardize killing another man? A, B, you could go to prison and you could lose everything you have. Does that make you a punk because you walk away?
No, not at all. Not at
Yeah,
all.
man, I'm very big on my support system, man.
Absolutely.
I wouldn't be 90% where I'm at if it wasn't for my support system. I can be very uh transparent about that, about having
Right.
some.
Because if you take it really left field, then you're the bad guy because
Right,
we are men.
right,
If I sat here and called her a whole bunch of B's
right,
and H's and everything under the sun but beautiful, then I'm a bad guy.
right.
So for some guys, it's not a bad thing to just walk away. You know what I'm saying? Just walk away from it, breathe, catch your mind frame and stuff like that, and then try to come back at it when you're cooled off. Whether you had to take a 2-hour walk or you just had to go to your homie house and chill, not necessarily you had to go drink or smoke or anything. You just had to get up out of that toxic environment, because that is toxic. Disrespect is toxic, man. So if he felt disrespected, by all means, I feel he should leave. So then when he comes back and he speaks to his wife, like, hey, the reason I left is this, that, and the third. This makes me upset. How are we going to fix it? Either this is where compromise falls into place, or unfortunately, the situation may escalate from that point forward.
Right,
Because she is trying to compromise, and it's a two-way street again. It could be flipped the other way around.
Yeah, but we're speaking in regards to the woman's disrespect of her husband.
Exactly. Whoever's disrespecting who, right? I got you. You. Fam.
All right. Now, how would Steve handle a situation like that?
It just out of my perspective, like I told you, it wouldn't bother me that much that her father got a plate before me. It just wouldn't bother me that. It wouldn't bother. Now, the only way it would bother me is if this dude just never liked me. He just was like just a tyrant towards me. Then yes, I would feel some type of way. So that does go based off the current, just whatever the relationship between that man and his father-in-law is. So maybe him and old buddy just maybe they don't get along. You know what I'm saying? He already don't want him in his house, and then he get a plate before me. Oh man, yeah, right. I'd be a little aggravated. You know, I'd be a little hot about that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. But if y'all are cool peoples, I'm pretty sure if y'all were good people, I don't think it would escalate to that point again, unless within his upbringing, he's seen that, like his dad always got the plate before everybody, so he feels that's what he should get. You know what I'm saying? That's what I want in life. You know what I'm saying? That's exactly what I want. Now, if that wasn't specified during the whole dating engagement and all that, then she found out. You know what I'm saying? But if it's been specified, I can, on another note, even see why he would be upset also. Like if she agreed with him behind closed doors and then pulled that, yeah, I can feel that.
Yeah, man. The one thing about relationships, man, is communication and direct verbal communication. Now, once we have a dialogue about what I expect in regards to the family household, is me personally, I'm going to be served first. That's my preference. Now, that could go any way with being, everybody got they preference or whatnot. But me, I'm going to be served first in my house, especially in this situation where he pays all of the bills. All right. So that's a non-negotiable. Now, another thing, man, that I'm reading over here is when she said it's not a big deal after I communicated with her that I don't like what you just did, and then you're nonchalant in regards to my feelings, how I feel about the situation.
Lord
And
knows that is a pet peeve of mine, Eugene. When you're just nonchalant, not even acknowledging the way I feel. But
right,
again, if it was on the other foot, I'd be the bad guy because I'm a
right,
guy, and
right, exactly.
we're supposed to
So
be that support system. I'm sorry, go ahead.
exactly. Yeah. So my mom is on the live stream. Hey, mom, what's going on? And
Hey, what's up?
Myra says, but can't afford enough forks. Now, this is my rebuttal for that. The man is working and paying all of the bills. So the wife should have made sure that there was enough utensils for the guests. That's that's my rebuttal for that situation. If I'm out here slaying the dragon, crawling through these windows,
Right,
walking
exactly.
in these dirty houses, I'm coming home. I'm going to sleep. I'm waking up, rinse and repeat. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
that's not my responsibility. I'm paying all of the bills. I'm
Hmm.
paying all of the bills. You saying I got to worry about forks and spoons and knives and everything? Come on, man. Come on. And then this is how I'm gonna tell you. This is how I would have handled the situation. She would have apologized right there on the spot. She would have apologized in front of her father, in front of the guests for disrespecting her. And if she didn't apologize right there, and game over, game over. I would have ended the relationship. She could go marry her dad. That's how I feel about the situation.
I mean that's definitely one way to look at it. I feel an apology again based off all those factors that I brought up before. An apology could be in order. In public, like again, if I've specified this to you before we got married, while we were dating, while we were engaged, if I've been telling you this, yes, then in a sense I would expect an apology. Publicly would, I mean, that's even better because
Yeah.
that shows me that you're showing full acknowledgement to the error that was made. Not even if it was made in private, I would accept it. I know you're not going to agree with me on that, but at the same time, I will accept
No.
that apology
No.
in private
You
also.
know, one thing I learned, like within the nation, and
Okay.
I'm not a member of the nation, but one thing that they hold the men accountable for, if you disrespect somebody publicly, you have
Right.
to resolve that issue publicly. If
Publicly.
there was an
Okay.
issue and it was privately, you resolve that issue privately. Now, you
Mhm.
disrespect me publicly, then you're going to resolve this issue publicly,
Okay.
especially in the family house. And if you don't apologize right there on the spot, you could go move with your father, and you could go out here and you could go deal with the men in the cesspool, deal with the wolves in the cesspool.
Gotcha.
Go out here and deal with the hyena males. You know what I mean?
I
That
feel it.
I would no remorse. I wouldn't even think
What's Miss
twice about it.
look what Miss Williams had to say?
I believe her response shows a lack of boundaries. Exactly. So, one thing in regards to my therapy sessions that I go to, I learned about boundaries. I learned about triggers. I learned about raising my standards. I learned about
Gotcha.
communication. How important is that? Now, and I'm very big about respect. You know what I mean? So I think it's very funny that somebody can push your feelings to the side and devalue how you feel and you're communicating. That's one thing like I got an older sister. I was raised with five female cousins. I got a very loving mother, and I
Right.
know how big communication is. So when I tell you I don't like something, that means do not continue to do that.
But at the same time, people are forgetful. So
No
I know
exception.
what you're gonna say. I know what you're gonna say. I already know. You're gonna be like, no, no, no. But at the same time, people are forgetful, fam.
What
So,
if he forget? What if he forgets to pay all of the bills in the house? Then what?
oh, we gonna have some issues. I would never. I value my credit too much. I
Yeah.
would never.
You see, I see what I know with credit, bro. You can rebuild all of that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's true indeed. You can, but you know, when you got it so good and you got it going for so long, you don't want to do all that. You don't want to have to work.
I would in 0.02 seconds. Everything be turned off.
Be
Everything
gone.
be gone.
My dude said, I just, you know what, whatever. I'll figure it out.
You gonna apologize,
So
and
you
then
would throw.
and
So
then
let me ask you this: you would throw your credit away if she ain't give you an apology?
everything away,
Everything, just
everything,
whatever.
everything,
I cannot concur. So,
and I would tell her in front of her father, get the fuck out, get
jeez,
the fuck out. You're not gonna come in my house and disrespect me.
yeah, yeah. I mean, again, it's based off the situation. So if it's been explained or you've said it enough times prior to, I can't explain or I can not explain. I got you. I understand. But at the same time, maybe I'm just a little bit more lenient. Now, if this has happened multiple times, completely different situation.
It
If it's
wouldn't
happened
be
more
another.
than
It wouldn't
once,
be another time. It wouldn't be another time. Because what happens is when somebody violates your boundaries, especially when you directly verbally communicated that this is my expectations, this is
I
my standard. I want to be served in my house, our house.
true indeed, true indeed. But
This, this is
let's see what some of the comments say. So we got Desmond. What do you say? Do you think that a woman would feel different if it was a blended family function? The man brought his girlfriend, but decided to take his baby mom plate first because she's the mother of his children. What you feel about that, Eugene?
hold on, let me read it again. Do you think that women would feel different if it was a blended family and the man brought his girlfriend but decided to make his baby mama? No, you
That's a
don't.
sticky question.
It's when it comes to my wife will be served first. This ain't about the baby mama. See,
Gotcha.
you the baby mama, you the divorcee for a reason. You know what I mean? This is my family at the present moment, and my wife is first. She is going to be she's queen, and that's just the way it is. Not no baby mama or divorcee or somebody that's in my past. You know what I mean?
You said it'd be over.
I
Ms.
do.
Williams said it's over.
Yeah,
Now
right.
I can feel you on that. I can feel you on that.
Yeah, and Desmond said, I understand that. I was just trying to flip perspective.
We appreciate that, my brother. We appreciate
Most
that. We always
definitely.
trying to flip the perspective because sometimes it seems to be an uphill battle. But we appreciate that. So
Yeah, yeah,
off bat, like Miss Williams said, it'd be over. That's how a lot of people look at it.
yeah.
So at least I'm happy to hear that. Like if you did have a wife, you would make her plate first before you made anybody else's plate, correct?
Right, that's correct.
Even your own
That's
mama,
correct. Yeah,
you would make her plate first.
that's right. That's
Okay.
right.
Okay. So now, okay, I
Respect.
can kind of see it because you want that same respect back.
Exactly.
Same thing reciprocated. I feel you. I feel you. Nothing wrong with that. It just depends. With me, if I ask who want to play, because then I'll make everybody a play. I might come out like a waiter and have 2 or 3 plates and you know what I'm saying, holding them, and I just serve everybody. You know, that's just kind of guy I am, man. So, but I
Yeah,
feel your side too. That's dope. I like that.
and then like I'm a very passionate person when I talk and
True indeed.
communicate. So sometimes my tonality increases, and a woman might think that I'm like being aggressive or I'm yelling or anything. So I was on a date, and a woman said, "Hey Eugene, you're being a little loud right now." could you just bring it down a little bit?
Mhm.
And I said, you know what? I said, I'm passionate. That's just the way I talk. But if
Right.
it's making you feel uncomfortable, I would be more than happy to tone
Mhm.
it down. And
It's
I
just
lower.
like how when people talk with their hands, you know what I'm
Right.
saying? I feel you on that. But
Yeah.
Myra says, please don't serve me before your mom. I'm good.
Yeah. Now, once again, that's direct verbal communication. If
Correct.
if Myra was my wife and she says no, take care of your mom,
Yeah.
then okay, I'm gonna take care of
Correct.
my mom.
It was
Now,
a
if I
compromise. Right. And
yeah,
it was
no,
already been evaluated. I feel you.
right now, if I told you that I want to be served first, and you go ahead and serve your dad, then you still married to your dad. Then you're not married to me.
In that retrospect, now it makes sense. Now it makes sense. Without the communication is what
Right.
throws it all off. So I got it, man. I got it.
Yeah, man.
So, so I mean, we done ran through these comments. This is
Okay.
a juicy, juicy topic. You brought it to me. I knew it was good, but I didn't think it would be this good, man. It's like ribs fresh off the grill, my G. It's really good stuff. So we have something special for y'all that is not really the norm, should I say? Because your parents have been, like you said, they've been together for how long? Oh, 50
Over 50
years.
years.
Over. My
Mhm.
parents have been together for over 40 years. So you expect with both of us and our upbringings, you get with the woman, you stay with the woman. So what we do have for everybody tonight is a special guest, which is a good friend of mine and my partner Eli here. So we're gonna bring him on. We're gonna let him introduce himself. He is not just a single father, but he is a single grandfather also. So we're gonna have fun picking his brain and definitely getting his insight within it. So just give me a moment. Let me go ahead and bring him in. He should be good to go.
Yo, what's going on, bro?
Oh, what's up, man? How you
What's
doing
up,
this evening,
Eli?
brother?
Good, good. How y'all gentlemen tonight?
We
Yeah,
doing
we're
good,
good, man.
man.
We're good. Hey,
Yeah,
are you
bro.
gonna turn your video on, Eli?
Nah,
Nah, he
I kind of got some things going on in the background. You know what I'm saying? But I'm gonna keep it A100 with y'all. Steve know me personally. You know what I'm saying? So I'm definitely gonna be honest and real with everybody. So that's the most important thing.
All right, Eli. Hey, so go ahead and give us a little bit about yourself, man. Tell us about, your profession and a little bit of history that you want to tell to the public.
Um, I'm 45 years old. I was married for 20 years. I'm divorced. I got 6 kids, 9 grandkids, and I was in the military for a while. I moved around a lot. I was one of them people who put money above a lot of things until I really grew up as a man, if you get what I'm saying.
Mm,
So it took me a while to really settle down. That's why I've been in Texas for about 16 years now. It's where I settled down and I grew up. I do remodeling, and that's what I do for work. I do remodeling and stores, homes, things of that nature. And I've been through a lot, man. 20 years of marriage. Like I said, I'm a single father, single grandfather. You know, I got 6 granddaughters, 3 grandsons, 3 sons, 3 daughters. They all stagger girl, boy, as far as my kids.
mm,
And I
uh,
pretty much just, you know, listening to y'all, I was, hearing about respect and women. I kind of went through a very crazy marriage where it was really a lot of love in the beginning, like that TV ride or die love, like people write books and movies on.
right.
And over time, of course, we were married 20 years, but we just didn't meet each other and get married one day. So we was actually together like 25 years. And
Man.
and then one day I started to notice how, as y'all was saying about respect of things, when Eugene was talking about, like, if I tell you I want to be served first, the boundaries of which our principles and love and relationship was built on started to go away. And as he said, I'm telling her to get out, telling the dad to get out. For family and love, because I had 6 kids, it's easy when people say, oh, well, she acting up and just out the door. When you got 6 kids, you got 15, 20 years invested of your life. It's kind of one of them things where you say, I'm gonna leave for a minute, or I'll put you out for a minute, and then I hope you learned your lesson. And it really didn't learn its lesson, but I still tried to stay in the marriage for the kids' sake. That's all my family had knew. You feel me? Like, I didn't grow up without a mom and dad. I grew up with the mom and dad. My father was with my mother up until the point to where they wasn't, but my mother didn't divorce my father until he died. So there was always a respect thing, you know what I mean? And I allowed what boils down to, honest to God, just blatant disrespect for love. And it went from a great family to the most craziest thing you could ever imagine. Jail, not for me, but for her, a couple times, multiple affairs. I mean, the craziest things that you could imagine, to where I just had to just finally, after like 23 years, just say enough is enough. Moved out, got a divorce, and thought it was over. Like, I'm gonna live my life, she'll live her life. It's no problem. I'm gonna raise my 2 youngest kids, because I have 6 kids, 4 are grown, but I had at the time a 16-year-old and a 9-year-old. So, I was always raised to be a man. So even though me and her relationship was over, I was gonna raise my kids. I need no help doing it, even still to this day. Taking care of my kids. That's why I don't got the camera on, because I don't want to put my children in,
That's
further than what
understood. You ain't gotta explain, man. We understand. Trust me.
But further than what, a lot of that's what I'm saying. A lot of my relationship and my marriage is already so much public, to where if somebody wanted to really listen to the story, they could actually go search and find this all on Facebook and Instagram, because that's where it all imploded and unfolded at. I didn't have like, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Nah, you good, Eli. So I mean, 20 years, that's an achievement. Most people retire from the military, they retire from jobs at 20 years. I'm not saying this is retirement in that case, but I'm just saying that's a long time. So I mean, for you, now that you are divorced and you're out and about nowadays with children and grandchildren, I mean, what is the dating scene like for you, and what can you tell other brothers that might be going through something like that?
Personally, for me, the dating scene is non-existent, because believe it or not, even though we went our separate ways, she still does outrageous things to make sure that I can't have a relationship, but she's with someone. And
hold on, wait. What you mean? Go a little in depth without giving too much detail. Just go in depth.
We'll put it this way. I'm sorry. Go ahead with your question.
Yeah. Well, before we get into like all of that, in regards to the topic, how would Eli handle a situation like that on the disrespect? I know you married, man, kids. How do you handle situations like that, man? Because I don't have any kids. I'm a young man. Well, I'm really mid-age, not young. But what do you think I'm wrong for saying she shall apologize in front of her father and the guests. Do you think that's wrong?
No, that's what you should do, brother. That's why I'm telling you my story, because that's what I started off doing, but then I let that disappear. Like, not boundaries push, I let it totally disappear. You feel what I'm saying? So I don't want to sound like a politician, but in Florida they got the stand your ground law. Brother, stand your ground, or one day you will wake up like me, a 45-year-old single father, single grandfather, and based on the principles of what I heard from you on how you are as a man and how you was brought up, you will be in the same position as me. Now, maybe your ex-wife won't be to where the point where she is harassing or making sure that you can't date, but at the same time, you would have invested a great deal of your life and your principles into something that basically wasted your time. And now it's not starting over, because this is not a movie or a game. This is life. As far as I know, you only get one of them. So to invest a long-term relationship with someone, you got to stand your grounds early, like you're doing now, because if not, brother, you know what I'm saying, you'll be like me, working 40, 50 hours a week, raising your kids. You may not be mad at her, but you could be saying like, okay, I'm 45 years old. I done wasted 20, or you could be 35 years old. You can say, man, I done wasted 10, 15 years with this woman when I could have been really pursuing or making myself available to possibly the real love of my life. And I wouldn't have had to sacrifice my principles, my morals, and things of that nature. So definitely, brother, stand your ground, man, because I don't get no takebacks, and I promise you, you won't either. If you,
Right.
if you know what I'm saying, if you don't handle that situation the way you said you would, you'll be me, brother. You feel me?
Yeah.
And it sounds crazy, and people say, "Oh, that won't be me." I'm from the streets, bro. You know what I'm saying? I grew up tough. That's why she originally was attracted to me. But as I got older and we were having kids, I'm like, the hell with the streets. I'm gonna go to the military. I'm gonna better our family. And then I became to where, because I was trying to better our life, I couldn't really, in a certain tone, say, well, don't do this like I used to. Like, well, when you wake up in the morning, I get my plate before my kids. One of my sons, well, all of my sons are bigger than me. My youngest son is 11 years old. He's almost tall as me now. You know what I'm saying? My kids are, my sons are big. So I started off the same way. Like, I wake up, it started with breakfast. Like, I wake up, kids eating before me. I don't even get woke up for breakfast. I got to wait for my cell phone, alarm to go off. It used to be, hey, I'm starting to cook, get up, go wash your teeth, brush your feet, do what you got to do. To then I'm just waking up to hearing the kids say, all right, daddy, I'm gone. I'm like, what? Cell phone going off. So, if you don't really make a woman, it's not even make a woman, it's actually a woman accepting truly who you are and what you stand for, just like you accepting her. I promise you, brother, I don't want to say it'll be lost love. It'll be wasted time. You feel me? Right. And you don't get no do-overs. You know what I'm saying? So definitely you're doing the right thing. Hold to your principles. I don't know how old you are personally, or if you want to tell me that.
34.
Okay. So brother, I'm telling you, you know what I'm saying? You're not young, you know what I'm saying, but you're not old. But you couldn't invest 10 years of your life the way I did at this point now, because then, you may not be a grandfather, but you may be a 45-year-old dad with 2 kids or a kid, you know what I'm saying? And it's like, damn, why did I just, not stand for my principles? I could have been with the woman of my life. I could have been, anything could have been different. You know what I'm saying? You could have probably did anything different, but our principles we got to stand by, bro, because it's real. It's no real get backs. You feel me? And it's a certain, I'm not bitter in life, but it's one of them things that when I wake up, my granddaughters is calling, my grandson is texting me and they asking weird questions. And, it's like, you see things like that on TV, but it's funny when you have real grandkids texting you like, "Hey, I'm about to go to grandma's house, and after that, can I come to your house?" It's like it makes it different and weird. And you like, and they like, "Why don't y'all live together anymore? Like, what happened? Like, why do you live here? Why did grandma live there? Who is this man who's coming over to grandma's house?" Like, you know, in your case, it could be something to where it's just now you have a son or a daughter, and your daughter starts off 2, 3, 4 years old. Now your relationship over with your daughter's 5, and you're trying to, get back into your life, find a lady. And now she's asking, well, who is this? Why isn't mommy living with us anymore? You know what I'm saying? And you're trying to live your life, and it's just no time to do anything other than be who you are. And
Right.
I had to waste 25 years of my life to see who I am now. But I promise you, brother, I wish I could go back. I would have seen her, when she came on to me, I would have took that other option. You know what I'm saying? I took her as an option versus something different. You know what I mean? But I definitely wish I could do it over. I promise you. And when brothers get to,
like you were saying, Eli, is just from Jump Street for the male. It's just to stand your ground in your beliefs from Jump Street and make sure that it's noticed and it's open.
yes, because at first mine was, and brothers tend to, I mean, we do us, let's be real, you know what I'm saying? Until we really find a woman that we honestly feel is like the one, we do us. And then when you get the one, you have to be a man at that point. So a lot of the principles of who you are or what you want to be, it has to be established early. And there can't be no, well, I'll let this slide, because, it's not letting it slide. It becomes a habit and a pattern, because we are who we are. You feel me?
Right.
The reason why Eugene said I ain't taking it is because he's Eugene. You feel me? And the minute he lets love, dictates who he really is, he's not Eugene anymore. You know what I'm saying? And he can't get back the days, the weeks, the months, the years of his life. So, we just got to, I mean, it makes it difficult for everybody. My life feels like a Disney movie. You know what I mean? I have grandkids, like really like grandkids who are used to coming to grandma and grandpa's house. Now it's, I'm calling Papa, I'm calling Grandma. I'm this weekend I'm at Grandma's. Next week I'm at Grandpa's. Why is Grandma mad that I'm going over Grandpa's house? Kids are used to, I have grown kids who are used to walking through the door of mom and dad's house. Now it's, well, I'm going over mommy's house. I'm going over daddy's house. And all of that became about to where it may not seem like nothing to other people, but it will be something when it's you. And if you don't stand for your principles in the very beginning, it will be basically maybe not my situation, but something very similar to it. And
or it could be worse, like you're saying, or it could be worse. You were saying that earlier. It could be worse than that.
It could, because, in my case, I don't want to, I'm not going to point no fingers, but, she's done things to where after we were divorced that I really can't understand. Like, you left, you didn't want to be in a family. So I'm going to be the man who I am. I'm going to take care of my children. And she moved on, get a man. I'm trying to really cope with, really understand, like, I've just wasted 25 years of my life. I'm not really thinking about just jumping into any relationship. I'm not really, but when I decide to, now she's upset, who's this? Why do you have this woman around my son? And it's like I'm watching a Jerry Springer show. You know what I'm saying?
But on the flip side, you have to accept that she has a man in her life that ain't you. And
And it's the
have your
thing.
children around it. I'm just asking. That's what she
Oh
expects.
yeah, and see that's just the thing to where in my case to where other than my grown children, my two youngest children don't want to be over there. That's why, well, even if they didn't want to, I'm a man. I was gonna raise my kids all until they were 18. You know what I mean? So she
Right.
knew that that's the one thing that I held my ground on. That I should have held my ground on with everything. Like I told her from day one, if we don't work out, I'm taking my kids and raising my kids. That's the only thing she ever respected from me. Because as time went on, all of the other things that she did respect about me, she see that I wasn't serious about, or that she could just totally just say, you know what, the hell with it. You know what I mean? I'm gonna do what I want on this. Like I'm gonna get drunk, I'm gonna crash cars, I'm gonna go to jail, and there's times in my marriage to where people like, oh, it's nothing, I had to say to myself, my wife is in jail. Oh, she only in jail for 30 days. Well, that's a whole month without a paycheck.
That's yeah.
Mhm.
30 days. Financials do mean a lot. So
And
again with you being married for those 20 years, just to get some recollection on that issue, because that was brought up to me in the past. Our finance is something very crucial within a relationship, not just a relationship, but marriage, especially again, like you said, 20 plus you've been in. So our financials crucial.
honestly, I'm gonna tell you the truth, brother. What your principles are is number one, and financials is number two. It's honestly not about loyalty. A lot of times, brothers be in relationships with women because, even though she cheating, he cheating, he's like, well, she paying half her bills, so I'm doing me. I don't care. That's no way to live as a man. Like you know what I mean? Like I could tell, like, man, people will say if they want, but I got homies who do it. I know people who do it. I'm quite sure y'all know brothers who, probably in a situation similar to that or worse. Like financially, it's the second most thing in a relationship. In any relationship,
Right.
you and Eugene relationship, y'all are friends and y'all are business partners, and y'all are only dealing, and just be real, you're only dealing with people who are trying to be successful people like you. Y'all not dealing with people who, want to stand in front of Family Dollar and panhandle, like
These
that's
are facts. These are definite
like
facts.
all relationships are based on financials. Before Donald Trump was the president, he wasn't hanging with no poor people, poor white people, or poor black people. You feel what I'm saying? He was only dealing with the rich people. You feel me? All relationships are based on financials, even friendships. You know what I'm saying? You only loan money to your good friends. You feel what I'm saying? So financials are very important. And that was the first sign to where people say, what? It's just some money. It started with just some money to where she was going to jail multiple times, bro. You
Right.
feel
But
what I'm
let
saying?
that be you doing that.
Right.
Exactly. And people, and this is one of the things when I tell people my life is crazy. Of the 20 years that I was married, she probably was in jail 4 years. And people say, oh, it's just 4 years. Well, that's a month here, that's 3 months here, that's 60 days here.
Yeah,
I
but
would I would
it
love to
all add
I would
up.
love to with that.
It all
And
added up, my dude.
and then when I finally get to a point where I get a situation to where I'm telling her, okay, listen, you can't mess up the money. All you got to do is not drink and drive and crash a car. I'm making $23 an hour. I'm working 45 hours a week. I got time for you. I'm making plenty of money. People think about that. I'm making $23 an hour, bro. I'm working 9.5 hours a day. My paychecks was looking like $1,500 a week. Hey, it ain't rich money, but in middle
No,
class family money,
that's good
that's
money.
6 grand a month.
Good money.
You feel
Good
me?
money. I
That
feel
is two people
good
working.
money, bro. Bills will be paid as long as you ain't living outside your expenses. Absolutely.
I
Exactly.
mean
So, and
I
we
mean a
was
lot of
doing good.
a lot of women want their men to be working. I mean, the main concern with women, have your own house, have your own car, just basic necessities, and
Right.
then on top of the charismatic, charisma, and all of those.
Listen, it's honestly, my whole perspective on that has even changed. They don't even want that. I'm serious, because I provided all of that. I told her in the very beginning, you don't have to overstress yourself. I'm always going to make enough money. I told her, listen, all you have to do is work at least 3 to 4 months a year. That's just enough so that we can file when we get our taxes and get more money back. That's it. If you don't really want to work, you don't have to. I'm always going to make enough money. Money was never the problem.
Right.
Jewelry was never the problem.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Eli. All right. So you paying all of the bills, the primary bills. Do you regret that, or you?
Yes.
You feel like that?
Boy.
Man, brother, listen to me. Yes, that's why I'm telling you, stand your ground.
Right.
I own, in a 20-year marriage, this is going to sound crazy. And if you laugh, I would understand. 20 years, 18 cars. She crashed them all, brother. I'm buying a car every other year. Sometimes I have 2 cars. At one point, we had 3 cars, crashed 3 of them. Another one she got arrested in. It was impounded. I didn't have enough money to get it out. I just had my first grandchild. She in jail. Remember, she ain't working now, so that's money less. I got a brand new grandchild, a daughter, 17 years old with a baby. People say, oh, that don't happen in real life. It happens. I was a grandfather. My daughter was 17. You feel me? So now grandma can't help out. My daughter go to school. The baby father, a year younger than my daughter, he in school. So who you think taking care of this baby? You feel me?
Right,
and I'm thinking, and I'm saying to myself, if I would have just been me, I would have cut my losses probably at one kid.
So you're saying you would have cut your losses early?
Could have got out while you could have.
Yeah, he was saying before you felt like you were drowning in that particular situation.
And every drowning in every aspect, because I didn't stand for my principles. And that's what brothers need to understand. Like, you think about that. I'm going to tell you some of the cars I had: a Cadillac, a Lincoln Continental, 3 Dodge Chargers, 4 Chevy Impalas, and a couple other cars. But those cars right there are all decent cars. Those are all cars we paid for. I could have owned a Lamborghini with that money, brother. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's square business.
Exactly.
You are absolutely correct.
And Janae, she just got here later on in the conversation, so she missed a lot. But it sounds like you chose the wrong person. We know that, Janae. The topic of the discussion is that he wished he would have stayed on his principle, on his square, instead of tolerating the disrespect. And that's what
I didn't choose the wrong person. The person that I chose was the right person. So this is what I'm saying. Even though at points where she wasn't doing the right thing, if I needed her to go out and get money, she would do it. If it came to taking a bullet for me, she would do it. If I just told her to do the simple things like don't get drunk, she couldn't handle that. She would just go get drunk, miss work, get arrested. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. And it starts off with the small things. She wasn't the wrong person, because if I needed her to take a bullet for me, she would have. You feel me? Even through all the bad things she did to me, when she did get money in the very beginning, she would always provide.
Right. So, Eli, so basically you let one thing slide, then you gave her an inch and she took a mile.
I'm telling you, brother, that's what happened.
Sound like 5 miles.
Man, it didn't go. It was the whole I-95, brother. Straight business.
Yeah. And my thing with this, Eli, is so men can learn from other men like yourself. I also been very blessed, very fortunate to have great male figures in my life. And principality is something that these men stood on, period. And I know that's where I got a lot of my principalities from, as well as my father. And I know, just based on past experiences of allowing somebody to disrespect me, they do it again. They do it again. So with that being said,
it's different with a relationship, though. What I'm saying is, it's okay. It's not like well, this is a dude on the street disrespecting me. This was my wife.
Right.
And people don't
Right.
understand when there's real love, you say like, oh, I'm this. In the streets and at work, in my personal life, everywhere in the world, I got the utmost respect still to this day. That woman is the only person I can say for on God, as the young kids say it, my grandkids say, on God, you know, ain't nobody else ever disrespect me but her. And what I'm
Right.
saying is, I'll allow that for love, because we as men, we say, okay, I think she the one. She is the one. And it starts with you letting her know. She understood all of my principles. That's what people need to understand.
Right.
Tell Janae to listen to these words. She respected only one thing. The one thing that she didn't have to respect. Most women take their kids in a relationship. When a relationship goes up, most women take the kids. This woman didn't care. That's the only thing she respected, is that I told her from Jump Street. And that was one of the main things that maybe I didn't say every day, but every now and then I brung it up. Hey, the kids always come with me, joking, just playing as a reminder. She always respected that.
Yeah.
It
Now,
was the
Eli.
other things.
Eli. So Tiffany
Yes,
says, sounds like she was an alcoholic.
that definitely the truth.
I mean,
She
that's
wasn't
a
crashing on them.
one type thing right there.
So do you feel like so you stayed in it for love? Everybody's so big on love. Do you feel like your principality should have been stronger than the love?
Hell yes. Excuse my language. Yes. Brother, listen to me. She knew I didn't choose the wrong woman. She was the right one. She knew my entire family 8 to 10 years before I knew her. She grew up with my family. I grew up more with my father's side of my family, but she grew up with my mother's side of the family. She knew my mother 8 years before I knew her. Her and my cousin were best friends. That's how we met. She wasn't just like some chick from just anywhere. She was someone who family were telling me, hey man, she's a decent person who the alcohol. I told her in the very beginning, that's where the first disrespect came at. I told her because my mother was an alcoholic. My grandmother's an alcoholic. I said when I got married, I wasn't gonna have an alcoholic for a woman. I guess only women in my life ever was gonna drink. And that's where it started. And she knew that was the one thing that I didn't want her to do. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You can be a weakhead.
So with that, Eli, you expressed to her multiple times, probably prior to being married, that you didn't want her to be like that, or like you need to chill on a drink.
No, I told her from the very beginning. That's why I didn't be around my mother's side of the family where she was at, because most of them were alcoholics. I'm just a little different. Now, I ain't gonna say I wasn't a drinker when I got older, but I didn't, as a child, as a young kid, I don't want to be around, it's different seeing your mother drink, your grandmother be a drunk. You know what I'm saying? Even if they just being that at home. When I got married, my principal said, because I watched my grandmother drink, I watched my mother drink, I didn't want to be with a woman who drank, because I seen those type of women. You feel me? So she knew from the jump, the drinking wasn't gonna be. You know what I mean? But I'm one of them men who can sit back. I sound like an old retired rich white man. Say, oh yeah, my wife done had 6, 7 DUIs, been to jail, time, crashed 4 or 5 cars. In my case, I can say 18 cars, brother.
That's crazy. So what you're saying in this particular situation, it goes back to what was originally said by you, and also what Eugene was saying, as far as laying your foot down, respecting yourself, and demanding respect in return. Correct?
Yes, because this is the thing that I want everybody to know. I got my utmost respect in the streets, at work, everywhere. Even still to this day, people don't try me. They don't disrespect me. You know what I'm saying? The younger cats call me OG or sir. I don't have women, acting crazy on me. I don't have anybody tripping on me or disrespecting me in any manner. She is the only person who I allow to.
Right.
And love played a big factor in that. And what brothers need to understand is the same way you stand your ground with them dudes at work for your money, the same way you stand your ground with a dude, if he bump into you at the store and he wants some smoke, you have to do the same thing with love. You have to, because you can say, okay, whatever. I sound very different as a person because I never allow anyone to disrespect me but my wife. You feel me?
And the thing is, Eli, majority of the crimes are people who you knew. It's typically, strangers ain't the one who's messing with you. It's always somebody that you had allowed in your house on that weekend, or it was somebody that was a relative, your wife. So I mean that's how it be. It's always the closest person to you that's going to violate you because they know what you will allow and what you won't allow. Does that sound fair? Sound about right? Does it sound about right?
That sounds about very right. That's why when I heard you say that you would handle things the way you did, and you would even take it as far as saying, you get out, your daddy get out. Brother, even if it's the best love you got, even if y'all the best chemistry you ever had, she could be paying all the bills. Mm-hmm. You still gotta go. You feel me? Because your respect in a relationship is more important than anything.
Right.
And then it comes to financials. You see what I'm saying? So if the disrespect on any level starts first, especially once you establish these things, you feel what I'm saying? Like I need people to understand this is not a woman who I just bumped into. This is a woman who I can say, basically, I can say I know my whole life. Even though I only known her since about 15, right. I'm 45 years old. She's the same age as me. That's 30 years. You see what I'm saying? So she wasn't somebody who I just met one day at the club.
You're just saying it wasn't nothing fly by night. You tried to build a foundation.
Yeah,
and there's a lot of cracks in that foundation. But at the same time, you're still willing to admit that you met the right person, even though there was a lot that went wrong. Correct? Is that what you're stating, Eli?
That's exactly what I'm saying. And what I'm saying is all the principles from what everybody has. You know, Steve, for you, it can say, hey, if you my woman, it ain't got nothing to do with how you was raised. You can say, hey, I'm a man. This is how I'm living. If a woman gonna be with me, I want a woman. So I don't care what situation to fix my food first. I don't care if it's your mom or your daddy. You know, Eugene can tell a woman, hey, it ain't got nothing to do with how I was raised, but this is the man I am.
Right.
When I come to the door, I want you to greet me. Hey, you know what I'm saying? I don't want to walk through the house and having to be looking for you to say, hey, I'm home. I want you to be, I'm going to text you when I'm on my way home. I want to, when I walk through the door, you at least peeking your head around the kitchen counter in the living room, walking down and you greeting me. If you let the little things slide that you say as a man is who you are with a woman in a relationship for love, it will basically be a waste of your time.
Exactly. And one thing I learned is that, yeah, people say you are what you attract, and that has some truth to it. But we are what we allow. We are teaching the people consciously and subconsciously how to treat us. And I'm big on respect. I'm big on principle, woman or male. And it's just the bottom line of the situation. That's why she would have apologized in front of her father.
Exactly, brother.
In front of the guests, or you gonna get the fuck out with your dad.
That's exactly, it. Brother. That's how you would handle everybody else.
Right.
And that's what I'm telling you. That's the same way. Now, you may not even use those words to her where you say, get the fuck out. You can say, get out. Just like if you had that problem with a brother you bumped into at Family Dollar, you can say, hey, man, get the hell on out of my way. I ain't playing with you. You see what I'm saying? The same way you going to make him back down and respect you, it's the same way we have to do in a relationship. It's just that simple. Because if not, it's not about, oh, okay, well, you know, I'm going to be a man. I'm going to take care of my kids, whether it's financially or you raising yourself. You can say to yourself, I done wasted 2 years, 2 months, 20 years of my time, of my love.
And Eli, I'm not wasting no time, brother. You feel me? I'm not wasting nothing. So the thing is, you know, like here, the comments is the whole ego thing. It's the principle and it's the respect. And when I tell you don't do something, I expect that. That's just what it is. And if you don't like that, your daddy, in regards to this thread, go marry your daddy. That's
Hey,
it.
you don't even have to go marry your daddy. Both of y'all can just go on about y'all
Yeah,
business. I don't
right.
care what y'all do. You feel what I'm saying? Because I think about the things that people may not be saying, like, oh, well, it don't mean that much, brother. Oh, okay. Then I had a Nissan, a Maximum, like that's $12,000 for that little Nissan that we had. You know what I'm saying? It was another 8,000 on a Maximum. That's $20,000. That could have been a house. You see what I'm saying? Things
Right.
that I
Right.
wanted to get to, like I wanted to as a man have owned a home. I'm 45 years old. I spent more money on cars and I could have bought 3 or 4 houses. You see what I'm saying? I probably put,
Right.
you know, I don't know, maybe it don't sound like a lot, but I probably spent about $18,000 over 20 some years on bail money. You see what I'm saying?
And see what I'm saying? And look, man,
Now,
I'm telling you, man, I really wish men were more on this mindset and they can hear stories like yourself, man. I'm telling you, because nobody's teaching us. It's either
Brother,
we was raised in single family household and the mom is like, this is what a good man should do. Or you got a dysfunctional family. And unfortunately, you went through that. Or the dad works extreme hours. So I mean, it's very, very few men that is being raised by other men, and they're being taught about principality. So regardless of what a woman says in regards to me being a dictatorship, that's 100% false. But in regards to my principality and what I stand on, there's no negotiation with that. I told you I want to be served first, and then you say it's not a big deal, and then you saying I'm just gonna serve my dad. Look, it wouldn't have been a second time after that. So I recently just got out of a little short-term relationship that I was in, and I told her, yo, stop doing what you're doing. I don't like that. You know, when you get a little drink and you start being a little disrespectful at the mouth, and you know I don't like that. You want me to respect you, and I do. When you tell me that my voice is being raised and you don't like that, I tone it down, even though I'm not yelling at it. I'm just a passionate person. That's how I talk. I talk with my hands. That's who I am. But I would do this out of respect for her.
Eugene, brother, can I say something to you that people and men need to understand? The whole world is based on that tone. That's how we flex with Russia. That's how we flex with the coronavirus, supposedly as a government. That's how we flex with terrorism. You see what I'm saying? If we ain't taking that from nobody trying to do the maximum, why would we take anything from somebody doing the minimum?
Right.
It's about all respect, brother. You feel what I'm saying?
Look,
And
send them to the
have to
cesspool with the
stick to it.
wolves, bro. Let them go with the hyena males. That's how I am.
hey fellas, so check this out. So Miss Moore had put up there and said y'all have some big egos. Now, let me just take this one in the retrospective. Now, on the bat, usually I'm the more optimistic thinker. Some people say I would have a more mature outlook, but honestly, I mean, I go with Eli on this one. I mean, I've been married, I've invested hella money within a woman, put her through college, the whole nine. So I don't feel like he has a big ego, nor do I feel like Eugene has a big ego on this. Only because, and this is my point behind it, only because Eugene, he puts his foot down. He's going to put his foot down and let you know what it is. Eli is saying, hey, if I would have put my foot down, I'd be a whole lot further within my life. And again, this is a male podcast about uplifting men and giving them insight that usually you have to pay for. Usually you have to buy books to get what Brother Eli is sitting here giving to us, or what Brother Eugene gives us, or even what I say. You have to buy books. And Brother Eli already told me I need to write a book based off whatever the case may be. But anyways, I don't feel they have very big egos. I just feel that they're speaking their mind and how they feel. So I will rock with them on that. Do I agree with everything? Absolutely not. But I don't feel they have big egos.
I mean, you your own man, so you're not gonna
absolutely.
You know,
But I don't think you have a big ego. I just feel like you are you? So you're gonna take it to that point on all kinds of stuff. So it doesn't matter. I could say, hey, I like my fork on the right side of the table. And you can say, hey, I like it on the left side of the table. Guess what? We still using the fork, so it doesn't matter.
Right.
What did Tiffany put up here? Let's get that up there. Tiffany put up there. This stuff is so surface level and so basic. Love you too. When a man leads his house in a certain way, I don't think most women would have a problem serving him first. So we're going right back to that top topic that we had brought by Eugene. So we definitely feel that. And again, just to go back, Eli, just to go back, you feel you should be served first unless it was agreed upon that she serves somebody else and vice versa, correct?
Listen, this is what I'm saying. All relationships and everything people are based on is upon a certain level of respect. The way y'all talk to each other is because a certain level of respect. You're not going to allow him, regardless of how good friend he is, to talk to you as any type of way, correct? So why would you let anyone go against what you have become as a person? See, that's what people and women are not understanding. Listen, I'm telling you who I am.
Right.
You have to decide if this is what you can live and deal with. If you start off living and dealing with this, be humble about it. Do as you're supposed to do with it. I'm not telling you have to accept this. I'm telling you before you invest years of your life, this is how I am. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't want a woman who drinks. You know what I'm saying? People say, oh, that ain't nothing. Well, okay. If you were a woman, even if she just doing the basic things where she's drinking, where she's not going to work, or she's drinking or cooking, or she know the principles of, hey, you know, when I come and it's dinner time, or if we have in a family setting, that you know, I'm your man, regardless. Okay, this is your father, your daddy, but I'm your man, I'm your husband. What we supposed to have is forever. You feel me? If you know that you're supposed to serve me first, you're supposed to serve me first, regardless if it's your father there. It could be your great great grandfather Earl, who, you know, celebrated.
Wait, Eli. That's an elder in your house where you're paying all of the bills. Shouldn't the elder be respected?
And like I said, with me, it doesn't bother me, but I don't know the background behind it. But I know that
it's all about preference, though. So if you
you're right.
If that's not a big deal to you, cool. But if I said I want to be served first, regardless of who up in this motherfucker, that's what it is.
You're right. Because if I express that same thing, I'm gonna accept that same respect. Just like if my wife, in that sense, if she was my wife and she expressed to me she wants to be served before my mother, then I would give her that same respect. So I can understand that. Now, Miss Moore was saying, are y'all still taking guests, or is this just for the fellas? And tonight it's just the fellas. Typically on this Friday, yo, if you want to get on, really, this Friday, we typically are gonna go on. What do we say? Probably about 6 o'clock, 7 o'clock on Friday. That's Saturdays.
That's on
Saturdays. So we'll do it either Friday or Saturday, and we're gonna have the ladies on. But definitely today we're just having the fellas, and it's no disrespect at all. We just want the fellas to get their point of view out, because a lot of men don't have an outlet to put it out there. So another thing that we're gonna do is I have another guest that I want to bring on. Eli, did you have any closing statements that you wanted to say?
I just want to, it's not even a closing statement. It's just an honest to God who you are as a man. Every man is different.
Absolutely.
If you allow principles to be broken, regardless of what they are, that are established in any relationship, especially with a woman that you love, it will not turn out the way that you want. It may not turn out as bad as mine. It may turn out worse than mine. It may just turn out to be a waste of your time. But regardless, it won't end well. So
Correct.
before you invest 2 weeks, 2 months, 12 days, 20 years, if that respect is going to be broken and that principles are not going to be respected in the very beginning, it may seem like something small then, but it may turn into something bigger later. Why do you want to waste your time to see? If I'm telling you this is who I am, and in my case, I want the women that may be listening to this to listen to this part especially. What she told me, I respected. She said, I want a man who's going to first take care of himself, look good. I did that all the time. She said, I want a man who's going to make money. I told her, guess what? I'm going to make 10% more than what I made every year. And I stuck to that, and she cannot say that I did it. So what that means is if I made $27,000 last year, I made 32 the next year. And the next year I made 36. Everything that she asked of me far as making her life better, I did that and respected that.
Right. Now, Eli, real quick. I know you said you want the ladies to listen, but this is a male empowerment podcast, because who benefits from an uneducated consumer like yourself in your younger days? Who benefits from that? I'll let you answer that question. Who benefited from your mistakes in regards to this exchange?
In my case, women. But who needs to win in this case and understand and benefit from it is men. And
right, exactly. So that's the bottom line, man. We're going to use these mediums, these social media to educate these brothers. Because what I want for my brother is what I want for them. What I want for myself is what I want for my brother. Basically, that's what I'm saying. So the uneducated consumer, in regards to your circumstance, that was you at one point in time, and she got to benefit from all these cars, spending all of your money. And if you could do it all over again, would you do it all over again, or you say, yeah, I would keep everything the same?
Nah, I would have did it. And this is the crazy part. The night that I decided to make this official with her, or just totally throw it away, because that's the type of young man I was. I was one of those, either I'm gonna go with it or I'm done with it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I was gonna go home with 2 strippers. Instead, I went home with her and married her the next day, because I was gonna either just go live my life and be single or invest it all in her. I should have went with them 2 strippers. You feel me? I think about it every day.
Strippers, man.
Listen, brothers. I love my kids. Honest to God, I loved her, but guess what? I wasted time of my life, money of my life, that I didn't have to. And we need to, as men, not do that. We need to stand for what we are from the very beginning, from the smallest things. So listen, if you tell your woman, listen, I only use Dollar Tree toilet tissue. Don't come in here with no $6 tissue. Listen, that's just what it is. And if she can't respect that, brother, hey, you know what I'm saying? Right. She might cook the best, she might look the best, but hey, we need to let that go.
Yeah, we're not worried about that, man. Hey, so just one quick question, Eli. Would you get remarried again, or are you done?
I'm done, brother. I will date a woman. I will love a woman. But far as there being another woman who carries my last name and who I'm all invested into, far as on paper, never. I will love another woman one day. I'm not gonna have more kids. You know what I'm saying? But definitely I'm going to have a serious loving relationship, but never going to put another ring on it, ever.
Okay. Would you get in another long-term relationship, or you're done with that too?
No, I'm definitely going to do the long term, but it just won't be a marriage. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. That's the type of man I am. I'm not trying to, just jump from lady to lady or whatever. I'm not trying to waste time. You feel what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm only looking for the long term. I'm a good brother. I know I'm a great father, a great, in far as respecting what a woman wants. I'm just only going to get that from a woman you know what I'm saying, the next woman, and it's gonna be that. You know what I'm saying? So
Okay. All right. Good deal, man. We appreciate your time,
Absolutely.
Eli. Steve, go ahead and open it up. Allow Big Zay on here. Thank you for your time, sharing
Absolutely.
your
Hey,
knowledge.
and again, Eli, we appreciate you coming on.
hey, stand your ground. What y'all need to start
Absolutely.
telling all the brothers whenever y'all start the podcast, you know, serious business.
I like that though.
Florida,
Stand
hey,
your ground.
Florida
I kind
made
of
that.
like
They
that.
made that law
Kinda
for a
catchy. I
reason,
like
brother, and they meant it for a reason, you know. And I don't mean no disrespect, but y'all know how stand your ground in Florida turn out. So we need to stand our ground on all principles, all situations. We do it with brothers in the street. Do it with the woman who's coming in your bed.
Absolutely.
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
If you can make the rest of the world respect you,
brother Eli, how do you say his last name? David.
David.
All
Eli
right.
David. All right,
good.
my brother. We're gonna get with you soon. We're gonna bring you on another time. So again, we appreciate your time and your knowledge and really just enlightening not just us, but also our audience. So you have a good night tonight, brother. You have a good one, man.
Y'all too, man. God bless
All right,
y'all.
later,
Make
man.
sure all the
All right,
brothers
peace.
know stand their ground.
All right, man.
Absolutely.
Later, bro. Peace.
All right, so yeah, without another introduction, really we have another single father that's going to come on the line. He was actually requested to come back, so we're definitely going to bring him on. We got Big Zay about to hop on. Eugene, if you wanted to bring him on.
I'll let you do it, man. Go ahead.
All right, cool. Just give me 1 sec. I'll go ahead and bring Big Zay on. The last time we tried to get him on, I don't know exactly what was going on. But hopefully everything's on. Big Zay, what's happening, man?
What it do? What's up, Cuzzo? What's up, fam?
What's up, man?
You enjoy the coffee in the backstage?
Yeah.
All right, good deal, Zay. Good deal, Zay. So go ahead and introduce yourself, what you do for a living, and a brief history about yourself. Elevator pitch.
Give me 1 sec. I'll go ahead and bring Big Zay on. The last time we tried to
Oh, no, it's echoing, Zay. Zay, it's a lot of feedback. Your mic is echoing.
Zay. You should just do it from your phone. Makes life simple. He said, hold on for a sec.
Yeah, man. So basically, just to recap and to go over
right. Let's go ahead and let's run it back.
The post here real quick.
Absolutely.
I gotta bring it back up. So my homeboy called me. He never calls me. He asked me if he was wrong. Here's what happened in this thread. My homeboy said his wife's family came over to his crib yesterday for Christmas. His wife cooked. He said when the food was done, his wife made her father the first plate. Now we understand that could be preference based on the individual.
Exactly. The upbringing.
Gotcha. Right. And me, I want my place first in my house, in our house, in the family house.
Like I said, in my household, it was get your own, and mom made dad's plate, and everybody else you get your own. So
okay. All right. And then he voiced to me that it's his house. He pays all of the bills and should get the first plate. And not only that, he had to eat with the spoon because she gave the forks to all of the gifts. Now he's paying all of the bills, which a lot of women say they want. And with the spoon, the wife should have made sure there were spoons and forks and knives available because he's working, paying all the bills. And so here we go. He told me he talked to his wife. She said, "That's my father, and I can't promise you'll always get the first plate." It's not a big deal. Not a big deal how you feel. He told me he left the house because of the blatant disrespect. I told him he wasn't wrong, and to stand his ground. Agree or disagree. So that's what we're talking about here, guys. Exactly. Is Zay back on, man? I think he tried to send a request. Okay.
I already sent Zay a request, so we'll give him a minute or so. If not, we could definitely bring Big Zay back on Friday. So y'all definitely tune in now. While we're waiting on Big Zay, really on Wednesday, we are going to be again with an iHeartRadio subsidy. We will have links either on Eugene's page, our page, and also on the Modern Dating Podcast page. So you could tune into that on Wednesday night. We'll be going on at 8 Central then on Friday we are going to open up the line again for the ladies, and we will bring Big Zay on if he can't get on tonight, so we'll bring him on. And all the ladies, you can definitely speak your mind as always, because we are equal opportunity and we are not here to bash women at all. So again, we value all y'all's opinion at all times. We want to hear your side too, and then not to combat with you, but again, like Eugene was saying, it's all about communication. And I think if all communities just have better communication, whether you're male or female, situations might not escalate to where they're at nowadays. Always saying that. So again, we're just gonna wait on Big Zay, and again, we appreciate the massive support that's been coming through.
Most definitely, man. A man that finds a wife finds a good thing.
Absolutely.
And the elite of the elite, they're all in long-term relationships or they're married, man. That's the common denominator. And then you can even look at the women who they involve themselves with. You know, that's another common denominator as well. And then, you know, it's a lot of myths about men getting. I know you're biracial, but I just want to throw it out there.
No, that's fine.
Some people say, "Oh, when the man makes money, he go gets that." That's not. He dates outside his race. That's not true. You could look at there's some billionaires that's still married to their wife that is African American.
Right, and there's some millionaires that you've never even heard about.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah,
they're not even famous or in tabloids or anything. You know what I'm saying? So
right, yeah, because some people, man, being low key the way where it is, you know.
Absolutely.
Yeah, man. So you know what I want for my brother, what I want for myself, and you know, Warren Buffett, multi-billionaire, told his mentee Bill Gates about selecting the right woman. So that's why we're having these podcasts, and that's why I'm doing it for myself, because when I find me a wife or wives, it's going to be based on my principalities, and I'm gonna make sure that we're like-minded. We're striving for a common goal.
Absolutely.
But, in regards to that, man, let's go ahead and shut it down, man. We're not going
absolutely.
Thank you for tuning in. This is an exclusive podcast, an emergency podcast. I wanted to get this information out here tonight. This is Eugene Alexander, real estate investor, life coach, MS consultant. Go ahead and close it out, Steve.
Yeah, you know what's up. It's the other host. It's Steve King. So you throw up Team Steve all day, every day. Understand, we will be back at it Wednesday. So y'all check for those links. We will be on Sister Nicole's podcast. They are a radio affiliate again. So we're going to go ahead and bring up some really fresh topics.
Right.
Something might trigger you, and it's fine. We could talk about it on Friday because we'll be able to bring you on the line then. But y'all be good, and we out of here, man.
Hey, Steve, real quick, man. The rebuttal Myra. Money has nothing to do with respect or having a fruitful marriage. Not true. People are the ones that are in a upper class. They have a 20% divorce rate. You can look it up in the census data and blackdemographics.com. Lower income have more divorces compared to higher income. Those are facts. You can look it up yourself. But all right, guys, let's talk to you later. This is Eugene Alexander. Peace.
Steve King, we out.